all, do you go by Lewis or Lou? Because I see in the comments people call you Lou.
You know, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I've had quite a few names. My mom called me Chip. My family calls me Chip. My parents, one of them doesn't call me at all. And my mom calls me Louie.
Ooh, wait a minute.
You know, ain't nobody got no daddy no more. You know, everybody daddy walked away in the 80s. You know how that is. Everybody daddy. Y'all all right.
Okay, so Lewis.
What's up?
Thank you for joining us. I'm so excited. Just like, I don't even remember when I started following you, but I have to say you are by far top 5 most entertaining and hilarious. And I'm sure you hear this all the time. So I'm going to continue to blow up your head.
You know, I feel like you can't hear it enough. Like you can't hear it enough. I'll take it all.
And just for you guys, okay, like this is totally a type A scripted thing. So what's your Instagram handle for people who don't know? And I want to ask.
My Instagram is at Ihustlenation.
All right. And how long? You have like a pretty strong following, over 23,000 last time I checked.
So what people don't know is I have a travel Instagram called Travel is the New Club. That's mine.
Oh, so okay. This is what I wanted to ask you about. I think I followed Travel is the New Club first, but it wasn't until, all right, so Lou, he did on one of his stories, ask a question type of thing, like last week. I think one of the responses.
I've had better ideas. That one wasn't a good one.
Because that's just what he posted. Who knows, like, what he received. But anyway, one of the responses was, I have a travel blog. I travel. And I was just like, oh my God, I can totally see, but you definitely outsource some of the stuff to someone else because the tone on that is not nearly as crass as your personal page.
So believe it or not, I don't outsource it. It's all, I know I changed my tones up.
Wait a minute, Lewis, because you sound actually pretty, like this is not the same Lewis on Travel is a New Club and I Hustle.
So I've learned how to differentiate a few things, how to separate some things. So like, I don't, Travel is a New Club is totally different from Ihustlenation. Ihustlenation is me personally. Travel is a New Club. If you go look at the quotes, they're definitely me. So I make sure all the quotes have a little shade to them to be relatable. But I don't like to make Travel is a New Club about me. I like to make it about travel in general. So what I do is I take it as a situation where I'm just gonna make this about travel. Like it's not about me. I can throw in my personality in there every now and then, but for the most part, like it's not about me, it's about other people.
And which brings me to, if you all don't follow Lewis or aren't familiar with his amazing page, he's always like, it seems like Mexico, South America are one of your favorite spots, or is it just because of the pandemic and we're limited?
So people think Mexico is my favorite spot. That's not necessarily the case. It's just, so I ended up going to Guatemala one weekend, and Guatemala had a 9:00 curfew. So I don't really want to go nowhere that's going to tell me when to go to bed. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to tell me when to go to bed, let it be at a time that I'm probably going to go to bed anyway. So I ended up from Guatemala going to Lake Atitlan, which saved the whole trip, one of the most amazing places I've been to. But I go to Mexico because they ain't telling me when to go to bed. So what people got to understand with travel is a lot of people are open, but a lot of people are not. They're only open so they can collect your money. They're not open so you can enjoy the country. So like you show up, they'll have like I was going to go to Medellin, Colombia a couple weeks ago. They had a 5:00 curfew. The hell I look like going to bed at 5:00? Like that's not what we're going to do.
PM, not AM.
Stay my ass at home. You know what I'm saying? So it's my thing is I go to Mexico because Mexico, they don't give me no restrictions and I get to like walk the beach when I want and kind of do what I want type situation.
So how did the travel bug, or how did you get into this industry?
I guess the best way I can explain that is I was born in Germany. So I was always kind of a traveling kid. But what ended up happening is I went to, I paused for a minute. We just weren't traveling for a while. Mm-hmm. And then I started back. So it wasn't until I quit my job like 12 years ago. And I took one trip. And then that one trip, funny story with that trip, I was actually in jail. I went to jail. And my mom, we were going to Lake Tahoe, and my mom shows up to the jail. She like, you ain't finna get out before we leave. I'm like, don't worry about this. Don't worry about it. I got it. So for whatever reason, I got out right before the flight left. So I went from jail to the flight. And literally, my sister came pick me up, was like, let's go. We going. It's probably about 12, 13 years ago. We're gonna make this flight. So we burnt off, went to Lake Tahoe, one of the best trips ever as well. And then I was like, I should start doing this more often instead of going to jail. So, so I decided I didn't want to go to jail anymore. So I was like, okay, I'm going to jail. I'm going to start, traveling a little more. So I started, taking trips to different places. Back then, I had, I took my money and did other things with it. So people might have car notes. I ain't had no car note. So instead of paying a car note, I would buy a ticket somewhere. And, like one of my stepbrother had a point. He was like, just fly somewhere and just walk around, like just see what it looked like. So I ended up flying different places and just kind of checking them out. I think one thing that really changed me was, I had my passport and I was like, I'm gonna book a flight to London. And I didn't know what the hell was going on in London, didn't know where I was going, didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know none of that shit. I, just flew to London and my homeboy was like, what you gonna do? I was like, I don't know. So that's when I realized like, that was one of the things that taught me that fear isn't as real as you make it out to be in your head. I flew out to London. I had to be in my 20s. I was just walking around London and shit. Like I didn't know where to stay, where to go, what was going on.
Wait, so you didn't even have accommodations?
No. So I looked online and saw what hotels were available.
Okay.
I was too stupid. But I just went out there and was like, we'll figure it out. And literally I went out there and figured that shit out. And this is back before they had like currency converters on your phone. You just had to you had to figure that shit out. Like,
so, okay, because clearly this spontaneity is a personality trait. I mean, I wish, like, honestly, I know you asked me a couple of days ago, whatever, but that's so admirable. Like, I wish that I can just, which I can technically, log online, find the spot, but the fear stops. It's just all the stuff that runs through my head of what could go wrong versus what could go right.
So to clarify one thing, what could go wrong is you could walk outside right now and get hit by a car.
That's true.
You could be driving and get hit by a car. You could get shot by a random shooting. Like you could, my friend, I have a friend I just rode bikes with, dropped dead, part of 50. But to me, ain't old shit. I'm 40. That's not old.
That's super young.
Yeah, I have another friend who lost her sister at like 30. Like shit can happen. Mm-hmm. And the shit that can happen is much worse than catching a last minute flight somewhere. Like literally. But I think what happens is, I think two things, I think social construct has confined us to where we don't do shit out the blue.
Yeah.
So I've been out that social construct for 12 years now, and it still kind of fucks with me psychologically. Like, hey, if I'm over here doing this, like I was in Costa Rica like a month ago, zip lining on the most unsafe zip line ever. I'm looking down at the shit. It's like webbed on the floor. Like it's crates that they put like metal shit they logged into the tree. So I'm looking down, I'm like, look, I'm not confident about this tree, about this zip line, about the shit we standing on. None of it. Like, I don't like none of this. But then I was like, I'm really out here doing this thing. Like, so I think, with the way the social construct is set up, so many people, we end up making a situation out of no situation. Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, that's my cat's tail. She just see how she.
Oh does. My God, is that the infamous? Wait a minute. I want you to continue this.
Infamous ass doing infamous shit.
Wait, so what's your cat's name? Because she or he is very famous.
So my cat is, as you can hear her knocking shit down, she's so disrespectful. Like the respect level here is zero.
But guess who always wins? He or she.
She does.
She does. Yeah, like that's your baby. I guess I'm gonna drink too. This is my first time drinking on a thing. So.
You never, now here's the thing: when you ask me to be on the show, you be having like some pretty pretty important-ish people on your show. Like, I'm like, you sure? Because I ain't no politician. Like, I wasn't sure. Like, I was like, seems like you have prestigious people on your show, but then you call my ass. And I'm like, I don't know what she's thinking.
Well, because I think that you are important and I love your outlook on life. I had no idea that you quit your job 12 years ago. And I honestly think that your story is far more inspiring. No offense to all the others. I love them too.
You just offended them, but go on.
But I just think that it inspires me. So I felt like if hopefully other people think the way that I do. And I just wanted to, and I wanted an excuse to talk to you.
Oh, well, hey, here we are. Not a problem.
So I figured this would be a nice little segue since I was in Houston, like I said, last weekend. I didn't know that you were based there. It's so crazy. And yeah, like Lewis is so popular. He has so much other like distractions. I figure, all right, you're going to get on my podcast so I can get your attention.
I think what ends up happening, and I like to look at other people's outlook. Like I do watch your, podcasts or whatnot. But I think what throws me off the most, what ends up happening with people is we're all slaves to a social construct. So I heard somebody say, none of us know who we are. Literally, nobody knows who we are. We just know who we were told to be and we fell in line. And if you look at schooling, like if you went to school and college, that's 18, 22 years of brainwashing.
Yeah.
So with 22 years of brainwashing, how do you get out of 22 years of brainwashing?
It's hard.
To a job. So I meet people that I'm 40. So I meet people around my age, older, younger, and they're trapped. So they're like, I wish I could get up and go to, Costa Rica like you. And I'm like, you can, like book a flight, just go.
Right.
And what happens is we're slaves to, I think what the social construct has done is we've built a jail in our head. Like it's literally a jail in your head and you're confined to that jail and it tells you what you can or cannot do. We also take on our parents' mindset. So even when you weren't in school, when you went home, you were confined, Right. If you look at your whole life, you had to ask for permission your whole life. So you had to ask for permission from your parents to go somewhere. You got to ask for permission to pass a class. You got to get permission to get into a college. You got to get permission to get a job. One of the most demeaning things ever to me is a job interview, because I have to sit down and convince you that I'm worthy to work here. So if they tell you no, here's why it's demeaning, because if they tell you no, it'll get you down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? When in actuality, you're probably worth more than what that job has to offer you. So I just see a lot of, for me personally, it's reprogramming myself to say I really can do whatever the hell I want because I'm a grown man and nobody gonna tell me nothing. I need to execute on doing that. And that's really what I've been doing lately. Like I'm grown, I can do it. I do have responsibilities. So I balance it. Like I'm gonna be responsible for this right here, this many hours a day. But once I'm done with this many hours a day with this responsibility, I'm gonna go do this. I can work, I'll be on vacation, like working and stuff like that. Like I'll be out of town. I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna get up at 9 o'clock. I'm gonna work for 4 hours and then I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I'm right on time for whatever bar open, whatever happy hour, whoever got the pina coladas popping, like I'm there. But I'm trying to knock stuff out as I go. So
right.
I just think anybody can do it. Like I'm not, I don't want to say I'm not special. I think I'm pretty special myself. But I just think what ends up happening is we're confined to these social constructs, and it's all bad.
So, Lewis, I can't even imagine you working for anyone else. So, what did you used to do in your past life?
So I was actually, believe it or not, I was extremely good at it. I was at AT&T. I was #1 in sales. I got the little sales trips and the plaques and.
Oh, I totally can see you as a salesperson. So I do believe it.
So it was the internet sales. The internet was banging. I was literally sick. I walked away from 6 figures. They called me stupid because I was #1. So they.
But you're at minimum, you're doing the same numbers that you were doing there now. So.
But I think it's one of those things where you have to walk away to know that. And if you live a life where you're not gonna walk away, then you're just not gonna know that.
And it's about upbringing too. I grew up in an entrepreneurial, that's all that I saw. So I think it's normal. But when the majority of people, particularly I would say, Black professionals, we're trained to work in corporate America, and that's the pinnacle of success. So people look at someone like you like, yeah, he's crazy, especially as wide open as you are.
But I mean, I also realize that, I mean, I'm no role model, but people are looking at me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The situation where people are looking at you, then, you know, you want to put yourself in a position of, you can do this too. So I'll never do anything and make people like they can't do it. You know, I'm not that guy.
That's what's also admirable about you. Like nothing, you're very transparent. You never make it seem like I'm holier than thou or better than you or you can't get here. It's you're very relatable.
Yeah.
And
so
approachable.
You pretty much have to be relatable in these situations. So I never want to come off as too good for anybody. So for me personally, what I do see a lot of is people doing things out of the ordinary and they want to make themselves greater than others. And that's not what we're here for. And, you know, going back to what I first said, people are dropping dead every day. So in the end, like, we live in a world where you could drop dead now. So I don't think you want to act like you're better than anybody, because none of that means shit dead.
Right.
You know, if anybody who inboxes me, asks me where I'm going, how I'm going, how I did it, when I'm doing it again, like, I tell them everything. Like, I don't come off as too good, because that's one of the situations that people do that's just all bad. And I think everybody needs to stop that.
You're very okay. So before I respond, can we go? We never talked about your cat.
So the story of my cat is, my sister was in Atlanta and she was riding on the highway and she found a cat on the highway. So it was a kitten, wasn't even 1 pound, it was small.
Okay.
You know, stops her car to get the kitten off the highway because it's about to get hit. So she picks the cat up, and a state trooper stopped to help her get the cat out the street. So she's about to toss this cat back in the woods. My sister was like, no, don't toss the cat. Give me the cat. You know, I'm going to take the cat, you know, back to Houston with me, because if you toss in the woods, I'm going to eat it. So she brings it back. She was like, I got this cat you want. So she brings the cat by and she like, just watch it till I go do whatever she went and did. She travels a lot, which I do. I don't know why she did that. I just realized I got duped. But so the cat comes over. The cat is a thug, right?
The kitten is a thug?
Oh my Lord, she didn't care. Listen, so I have high ceilings and shit. Like, it's pretty big in here. So I'm thinking, okay, she gonna be afraid. This little bitty ass cat. She didn't care about nothing. She running up on the dog outside. She's jumping on top of everything. She like, you know, this is my new jungle. Like, I didn't realize, I thought I would get like a little meat cat. I didn't realize I was gonna get, you know, in cat form. You know, like she.
Wait, sorry, who in cat form?
50 Cent cat form. Like,
oh my God.
First album.
Wait,
like,
Louis, you're being rude. What's the cat's name?
So the cat's name is Atlanta, because I found it in Atlanta.
Aw, I kind of like that. I mean, it's ratchet, but I like it.
He's ratchet.
Oh, it's a he. She is ratchet.
Extremely.
So this is literally, she was in the streets, so you're not giving her back to the streets ever again.
I tried to, she won't leave.
So that's another thing too, Louis, and you have an excellent response for everything. I too, like, I'm not an animal person, period, let alone cats. And I'm happy that you posted that question, because someone tried to try you, which I'm sure they do all the time.
Yeah, they do.
Saying, don't you think it's weird to have a cat? It's more so because you're a Black man. If you were a white woman, even a white guy, they would give you, you know.
So it's a whole movement of Black men with cats online. And
of course you follow them. What's it called? Negroes with kittens?
Yeah, like, there's a bunch of us.
You're serious? Are you joking? Because you joke all the time. I can't. I have to
like, look at it's online. It's a bunch of Black men with cats now. Like, it's a thing going on. It's really a thing.
Okay, but I'm saying your favorite blog is really called Negroes with Kittens.
No, I follow the hashtag Black men with cats. Yeah. I follow the hashtag.
So you follow the hashtag, you have your 70s glasses, because you always joke that you need to stop dressing like a 70s droid.
So let me explain the shades, so people don't understand the shades.
Please explain.
I like the world better in yellow.
I love yellow, but I never thought about it like that because it's brighter.
Put on yellow shades, the world seems better, brighter, with yellow shades on. So I got in a habit of putting on yellow shades. And when you start looking at the world through yellow shades, it's just so much better. Everything hits different.
So it's not rose-colored glasses you like to look through, it's yellow.
So I have the rose too, but it's something about the yellow that does it for me. And I smoke weed, so it gives you, it's a vibe. We'll get you a little weed, put some yellow shades on. I'll get you a pimp. Put some yellow shades on. This is a better world.
I'm gonna actually hold you up on, I want my yellow shades.
Not a problem. I'll get you something easy. Done. But yellow shades just make life better. You smoke a little weed, put your yellow shades on, it hit differently.
Wait, can we wear the yellow shades together?
Where we going? Don't matter. I got it.
Okay.
We can both look like weirdos together. Easy.
Hey, like you said, people are dying every day. Why not?
We're dying every day. And that's most important. I need everybody to understand. I think we got this time that we do not have. There's so many people that think we have all this time. And it's crazy. What messed me up about the guy that I rode bikes with who just died last week is it's a big group of us, but I'm like, I'll never see him again. Next time I see him, his funeral is Thursday. Next time I see him is at a funeral. And that messed me up. I was like, I'll never see him again. And it's different when, it's different when you're old. It's like, all right, you 80, 90, you was on the way. Come on now.
Right.
We see that coming, But just to have somebody that you think you're going to see again, that mess you up. And also, I think death, one thing I read in the book, I do a lot of reading too, but one thing I read in the book is mortality is the key to life. Knowing that you will die one day is the reason you should be living to the fullest.
I like that. It's morbid and creepy and it makes me a little depressed, but it also inspires me.
America is morbid and creepy. What?
You are 1,000. See, that's another reason I like you.
America is morbid and creepy. That ain't no morbid and creepier than
That's true.
So
I don't even have it. Normally I have a rebuttal, but I agree. You're right.
This is a twilight zone we're living in right now. We don't even know what the fuck's going on right now.
That's exactly why.
They're talking about aliens. They mentioned aliens 4-5 times. We about to have some aliens come. It's too much. And you can look that up. This is facts.
Nothing surprises me anymore, literally. But I want to get back to the yellow glasses and where we're going, because I know, this is the thing with Lewis, and I know I'm not his BFF. Your BFF, you posted her. What's her name is?
Kelly is my BFF.
Kelly. I know I'm not Kelly. However, based on my limited interaction, what I'm ascertaining, I want to call Lewis.
Ascertaining is a word too big for me, by the way, but go on. Big word. Keep all that big word.
Oh my God, he's super genius, intelligent. But anyway, he's being humble. Yeah, I keep on saying, invite me. Let's go somewhere, and he'll write it.
Look, you tell me what you're trying to pull up to, and we'll pull up. I can pull up. Yellow shades and marijuana would fit well in Miami.
That's easy, because actually, you told me that you were coming maybe a year ago.
So Miami is the stopping point to go to a lot of places. So come do it there. We can go chill, day drink. I don't want to go to South Beach. Don't take me to South Beach.
I won't take you to the tourist trap. I'll take you to a spot that I would go to. I only go to South Beach when people come to visit because they ask, but I don't go there in real life.
And that bothers me because here in Houston, people want to go to Turkey Leg Hut.
Oh my God, I passed by Turkey Leg Hut. The line was just too long. But you said the food was good though.
So one thing people don't know is I don't have to wait in line. But shout out to Turkey Leg Hut. He's a friend of mine.
Okay, so wait a minute. So had I hit you up, we could have went through the side door.
Yeah, we could have went Turkey Leg easy.
Really?
Easy. We can go Turkey Leg.
Okay, so can I come back to Houston and go there with you?
When you come back to Houston, we'll go to Turkey Leg Hut.
With the yellow glasses. I'm putting this on the record, and I'll play this back and send you the clip. because I don't know if the abuelito is going to have you remembering them.
How many pairs of yellow shades do you think I have?
2.
All of them.
But I don't.
I got pairs I ain't open yet. What you need?
Right. Okay. The yellow shade. But I'm gonna say, hey, Lewis, I'm coming to Houston.
I keep a set in my luggage. I keep sex at home. The yellow shades and marijuana is life for me right now, and a drink every now and then.
So when you mentioned that, because I do believe you're extremely disciplined for you to run the successful blog. So do you have like other entrepreneurial ventures, or that's like your main income?
So I have quite a few. I just have to cultivate all of them. What I'm working on right now is time management. So one of the things that have benefited me is I work off of a timer. So I'll put like 3 hours on my phone and I'll hit the timer. Mm-hmm. And like I'll stick with that 3 hours and I'll write out everything I'm gonna do that day and I stick with my timer. And long as nobody tries to, it's funny, I had someone that just recently went to jail and I had to go get them out. But I told them, I said, you fucked up my whole timer.
That's the thing you told somebody.
I was like, it's not the fact that coming to get you out. It's the fact that you fucked up my day. Like now my day is crazy because you want to come.
I mean, it's selfish of them to F up your day too. I get it. Never mind.
Yeah. First off, if I was selfish, I would have left your ass in there.
You're right. That's okay. I take that back. You're a very generous man.
That's not a quick process, especially when you go to jail 45 minutes outside of Houston.
Oh my God, Lewis, was that the picture that you posted? Because I didn't even know they let phones inside of the people who looked like they were, that's so funny.
So that was in a country town. They had on jumpsuits that looked like Life, you know the movie Life.
Yeah.
Thought they were gonna put me in jail just because they look like they lock up black people in this country.
Probably. In Texas? Same thing here in Florida.
I dropped that bond off and I ran up out of there. I was like, bro, they were like, oh, he'll get out in 3 hours. You can come back and get him. He's going to have to figure that out, sis.
You can take an Uber, right?
Huh?
Can you take an Uber or a Lyft from jail?
He figured it out. I'm not coming back out here and I'm not waiting 3 hours out here. It literally
that was really nice of you. So then when you got back home, you resumed your timer.
No, the whole day was messed up then. I wrote the whole day out.
But that's what I'm trying to figure out. And I know, obviously, I'm not asking you to like disclose your trade secrets.
No, I'll disclose it. What you want to know? I ain't holding nothing.
Okay, so is your time is focused on travel is a new club? Like how, because you said the timer and the working. So I'm trying to.
So one of my methods is whatever you want to do that day, give it the time to do it. Mm-hmm. So focus could be on travel and throwing trips, but it could be trying something new. So give that 3 hours a day of that new thing you're trying to do with Travel is a New Club, and send off emails. And if emails come back and it, look like something's going on here, give that a little more time too. I think when you're an entrepreneur and it's not, what I'm doing is not set in stone. As far as a plan to do things, you have to figure out each day, but just organize your figuring it out. So that's pretty much what I did. So with Travelers New Club, set up trips, throwing trips, this, that, or the third, I'm looking at, who's open, who's not going to be open, but might close on my ass later. Because a lot of people open and they turn around, they want to close later and things of that nature. So you kind of got to stick with what looks like it'll be consistent for you. And then also the way you do one thing is how you do everything, which makes life create change for you all the time. So like you can't half-ass work out, you can't half-ass make your bed, you can't half-ass clean up. Like, because the way you do one thing is how you do everything. So what I'm also learning now too is since the way you do one thing is how you do everything, then that means you shouldn't be doing everything. So I pay somebody to come clean my house, pay somebody to clean my car. I pay to wash my car, clean the inside, because that's one everything I'm not going to do. So which gives me more time, because I also believe in, outworking people in late night, early morning. So I have to put in hours. So I don't have to deal with cleaning my house. I can pay somebody to go do that. Right. I really want to get to a point where I got a personal assistant, so I ain't even got to go pick up my dry cleaning. Now they do have dry cleaners that pick up and drop off your clothes. Not that rich yet. They want it way too damn much. But listen, I'll go get it. Y'all ain't, it's only a mile up the road. So I'm really acting kind of bougie, but at the same time, I would like to have that service. And I'm starting to realize now why certain people pay for different services, and they do it because they don't have to deal with the dumb shit. Like the day is small to you. It's not your time. Like Will Smith ain't mopping his floors. I'm saying like you're allowed to give your energy towards what matters and what can grow you. And I'm learning that. So now it's just a lot of stuff, I prefer to be off hands with. Like later on today, I'm training somebody to take up some slack that I have going on. And I'll just cultivate them and train that person because they want to be in the industry anyway. And make them and train them to take up a lot of the slack that I have to where we can keep it moving and I can do other things. You know what I'm saying? Right. So I, it's, nothing is actually set in stone for any of us with what we're trying to do. So we just have to kind of not make it up as we go along, but make a plan and it up as we go along. So I ain't got to, you just don't have to deal with all
I agree. It's the time value of money. And anything that I can outsource, I used to be and I hate micromanagers, but I used to be one of those people that have to do it because I want it my way. But when I realized I'm more valuable doing other things to bring in, but I try to find someone else to do it because so like you, when the coins get to a level where I can have a human to do these things.
So what is it that you do during the day? Because I just thought you interview people all day and get paid to like do
That's the goal. I would love to. My background's in finance. I advise municipalities and private companies on strategy, public affairs work, governmental affairs, and I do valuation analysis. So that's
more important than me, is what you're saying.
No, because you get a chance to travel and get paid. I got to be on my Excel sheet. I got to do financial analysis. I have to talk with clients and elected officials to get money versus you be out sipping tequila and getting checks.
You got a point.
I'm trying to, I would love to get to the level. Like, I think you're doing a phenomenal job with your, the blog / Instagram page. And you're monetizing that.
Again, I think, once you find your avenue, once you find your lane, and what a lot of people don't realize too is there's a lot of people that aren't doing shit. So with the amount of people that aren't doing shit, like it's an opportunity for people that are willing to do shit to excel. So like, I don't think you have any like competition or competitors or anything like that. So we tend to think that there might be like somebody coming for your spot or your lane, and there's not enough people who have enough balls to come for your spot or your lane. So you literally pretty much could do like, you could do like whatever you want and like it'll work out because there's just not enough people that'll compete. You know what I'm saying?
When you say stuff like that, I totally agree with you, Louis. It inspires me, but I also get frustrated because I agree. Particularly here, I feel like in Houston, the market is different. And I hate to talk about Miami, this is my hometown, but it's not. I lived in Philly, I lived in New York, I visited Houston often, DC, San Francisco. It's not that same vibe. So the competition isn't as fierce in that regard. So I feel like there's absolutely no reason that I don't have my personal assistant right now, but it's coming.
Well, and also a lot of people aren't, executors. They ain't for to execute nothing. So execution requires time, work, thought, and that's another thing that comes with the pre-programming is they program us to take assignments, but we're never programmed to assign ourselves to do anything. So when people stop assigning us shit after college, we stop studying, and all those studyings and things that we learned was a big benefit to going through life, but we stopped. If we would have kept that same college intensity, high school intensity of studying and learning and applying, like it would be, that was
another level.
So I realized that too, like I need to start studying, learning, applying, which is kind of hard to do when you have not been doing it, but it's one of those things that we need to take up in order to make it to where you need to make it to.
But you mentioned reading, because that was one of my questions. I was going to go to our fire round. Like, what books are you reading now?
Right now, This one is one of my faves. Still Like an Artist.
Pray tell. What's it about?
Still Like an Artist. It pretty much talks about. I'm not ignoring you. I'm looking for my other book.
No.
I'm about to. Hold on. Let me. Wait. Okay. So, books.
Okay.
Still Like an Artist. It pretty much gets into how there's no ideas are new. There's no new ideas. So everybody's just taking other people's ideas but making the ideas their own. So they're putting their own spin on it. Like you ain't the first podcaster, but you're doing podcasts how you do it. So Still Like an Artist is really good. It pretty much breaks down the whole nine. Power of Focus, it pretty much goes into laser pinpointing and picking one thing and sticking with that and then overcoming that and then moving to the next. It goes into it. But this next book is, not only is it illegal, in my opinion, but it's on Amazon for $250 because they just stopped making it because it just told all the secrets.
I need to see what book costs. I thought it was coming.
Your Business by John Kirk.
If you That's a $250 book?
No, when I bought it, it wasn't. But when you start giving up the game,
you can jack up the price.
They stopped printing the book. When you start giving up the game, they stop printing the book, and it goes into this is literally a $250 book. Now, when I bought it, but it's one of those situations where I think it gave up too much game. I mean, one thing I did read out of the book, it said, take your family to Disney World, enjoy your time, write the whole thing off. It's one of those books where, you can come read it at my house, but you can't borrow it.
Oh, well, after I think before turkey leg, because I'm gonna have the itis after turkey leg.
Oh yeah, you'd have to stay a week. Like I feel
like I would have so much fun. See, my brother, he has 3 little kids, all under like 6 and under. You have no kids to your knowledge.
I have. So funny thing about that, if I did have kids, you think somebody ain't gonna call me and be like, "Hey, we got a baby"? Like,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Hey, who's not gonna call the guy that might look like he got a little money and be like, "I ain't gonna tell him"? No, they're gonna call. But no.
Oh, okay. I see what you're trying to say. I was just like, why wouldn't? So that's your justification for and it's okay. Now I'm all over the place. So now we're gonna get into your personal life.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we're segueing to fire round. We'll start off. We'll ease into it. What was the last thing that you ordered on Amazon?
The last thing I ordered on Amazon was a new sketch pad because I put all my ideas in the sketch pad and I ran out of pages. So I kind of like plan out.
So you have like a journal too? Like I love mine. I got to order somewhere. I love to write. Like I do notes on my phone, but there's nothing like physically. Okay.
Yeah. So I read a TED Talk where it said the reason people are getting dumber because they've stopped writing papers.
I believe that.
It says, the Scantron and all that made people dumber. If I find that TED Talk, I'll send it to you. But it just goes into people don't write, and that's what sparks the creativity. Paper mache and projects and writing and using your hands. It all kind of communicates with each other.
That's natural. That's what we were meant to do. I love technology, but I think it's a gift and a curse. All right. If you had a 100% chance of succeeding, what would you attempt to do?
I would definitely run for president.
Okay. Oh, Lou, president. Okay.
Only because I think politicians have made decisions for people long enough without actually knowing who people are. So I think, it would have sounded good for me to say Microsoft and make $1 billion. But, if I had 100% rate of succeeding, I would rather try to make an attempt at changing people's lives for the better versus, not, selfish gain and, people end up, and fuck up.
Aw, that's such a sweet response and something I would not expect from you.
I mean, yeah, like you want to try to help as many people as you can. Like you don't want to have people out here looking like shit, you know?
That's exactly why and I think I love it in your bio link when you turn 37 and the 37 meals. That was awesome. So
oh, I feed the homeless all the time, and I don't, you know, I said I do want to record it, but don't want to record it, and I just want to do it so other people can do it, not to be
right,
like,
not to be like, oh, I'm flex. See, that's a good point, and I'll get back to these questions. It's a thin line. You want to inspire other people to do it, but then there will be people who say, oh, why do you have to record yourself giving? So it's a catch-22.
It is, but I think what I'm gonna do is just, you know, focus on the people grabbing it, not their face, not any of that, which I did that before as well. I was like, get the group of people, don't hone in on anybody.
Right.
And I think I want to start giving back. I also said I wanted to start doing, which I am going to start doing, is give back situations like parties for a cause. So
Okay.
like situations where, you know, we can take a portion of the proceeds and, you know, give back wherever we can. Because ultimately, like it really hurts me to ride by people and they're hungry. I've never denied anybody food who asked me, not one time. I've never had a homeless man, anybody walk up and say, hey, can you just buy me something to eat? And I don't go buy them something to eat. I've never done it. Because I mean, it's, you know, not only are we living in a world that's gotten different, but the price of shit is going up. So homeless man can get his hands on $1. That ain't finna do shit for him no more.
Right.
So, you know, you just, you know, and what we have to understand is homeless people are mentally ill people. And that's one thing we don't want to recognize is that the people that are on the street are mentally ill people. Because I don't care who you are. If you homeless, you're not finna lay down on the ground and go.
That's very true.
That's somebody who it ain't, you know, the elevator don't go all the way up. So you got to know in those situations, like you're not, you know, you don't treat homeless people bad. Keep in mind, these are the mentally ill of all the people. You know what I'm saying? This is where they end up. That's why a lot of them are veterans and stuff like that. And so the VA should look out for them. Well, the government ain't looking out for nobody. A, B. I mean, sometimes somebody's so messed up, you can't look out for them.
Right.
You can't look out for them. You so messed up, I can't look out for you. Like you can do what you can to put whoever in your family in a better position, but you can't stop them from walking out that door and going to do what they're gonna do.
Right.
So there's no way around that.
Oh, so as crass and blunt as Lewis can be, he has a very good heart, which people tell you all the time.
Yeah.
So, which leads me to, and I love this quote too. What did you say? You were like, if a single person asks you why you're single, shut up and just because we crazy. What did you say? It was something.
I don't know. I say a lot.
You were like, I don't know what BS I was talking about, but I was just like, it made me think. I had to do some self-reflection because I feel like this as a Black man in America. You said you're 40 years old. It's different for women, but as a man, that's a choice. Like this is a choice, the path that you. So I don't. It was funny what you said, but you clearly that's just not what you want to do.
Again, I'm not opposed to being with someone at all, literally. I just think for me, I'm not going to pick anybody who gives me attention. Like, and I have things that I like and dislike. And like, if the person isn't with your likes and dislikes, why even play? Like, you know, what I see a lot of people doing is fronting like they're not a person to be with a person. But, you know, I've seen that go bad more times than I've seen it go good. So instead of trying to be the person that you're not, just go ahead and be who you are. And, you know, if you can be who you are, then that's fine. But, you know, if you can't be who you are, then stop lying to yourself. No, here's what you got to understand. Like, if people like you, somebody not going to like you. You know, like you ain't going to win. You know, I've been called pretty much a lot of things behind my back, of course.
But I'm saying, like, seriously, I'm not trying to like blow your head up, but seriously, what is there not to like? Like, you never act like you're never condescending. You don't act like what you're doing is non-attainable. You're super related. I just don't see clearly more women like you because that's just how we think. But as a guy too, I don't see why.
I think someone not liking you ultimately comes down to them not liking themselves, and you in those situations, like, you can't win. Like, if you don't like you, that's between you and your God, or whoever you pray to, however you get down. Like, I
Right.
can't, I can't help you with that. So I think, a lot of times, often people tend to make us, I think everybody has something they're battling with. And when they look at you not battling with it, they got a problem. Also, they don't know what you battling with. So
right. Everyone fights their battles. Some people are more open than not. So why do we all have?
I'll tell you what, I met a girl who, and this really changed me. Like, it really, and I don't like to take one battle and minimize it with the next battle. I don't want to be that guy. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, you had this happen, I had this happen, because everybody don't handle shit the same. Right. But when she told me she was raped by her father and her stepfather, my Lord, I started looking at everything, my minor shit. First off, I haven't had any of that happen to me in life. But I was like, both of them? Like, one?
You're right, because it puts your problem, like, I start to feel guilty that I'm complaining about something when they're going through that. When you're not supposed to. I know that's not what the therapist says, but I agree with you.
Well, and I'm very big on therapy. I tell people that all the time.
Therapy is I don't know why people, but whatever. I think it's necessary, just like brushing your teeth.
I think, we look at therapy all wrong. You think somebody's really messed up. I think what therapy is it's an opportunity to get a second person's opinion and unpack your thoughts. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have PTSD, which should stop being just equated to military alone. We got PTSD on so much shit. Yeah. Like, you flunk a test and get PTSD and not even know it, and feel fear from it, and not execute certain places just because, that didn't work out in your favor. Mm-hmm. I was looking at a situation where I had to realize, it's crazy how I unpacked this on my own, actually. I had to realize how during the day I felt the need to have to stay busy because I grew up and watched somebody who was a bum all day, and I didn't want to be that person that bad. I didn't even realize it. I caught that. I was like, and I think we all reach a certain age where you start to unpack stuff on your own. Like, after a while, like, you too old to be needing somebody to tell you that was wrong. Like, you should unpack that night and knew. But, emotional communication is a big deal and it's not taught. So who the hell know how to unpack, what's going on with them mentally.
And you said another, I know I keep on, like, people are going to be like, she's such a, like, fan. But I liked when you said, I think it was the post for your birthday, not the 37th, some birthday, and number 7 or 8 was
7 completion, 8 is new beginning.
Dang, about you create your own happiness, which I constantly, whenever I'm feeling a little bit down, I'm just like, it's true. Like, my happiness should not be contingent upon someone else or something. Like, I create that. And unpacking your feelings and your thoughts. So that was huge. And I think that was probably your most engaged post within that 6-month period, right?
Probably. I'll go take a look, but I mean, sometimes you got to be honest with yourself. And that was one of those situations where I was just honest with myself. Like, I can make myself, happy. Now, making yourself happy doesn't mean pleasure yourself. You got to be careful with that. But I mean, working out doesn't make you feel happy until you're done. So
I'm sure don't. Yeah.
I wouldn't say go masturbate if you want to make yourself happy, because that's.
See, but you went there because I was gonna say something, but I said that's inappropriate.
It's not inappropriate.
I'm gonna lose a business, but I said whatever because I'm with Lewis and I'm feeling like I can be myself. But he said it, not me.
Yeah. So masturbation is a pleasure. It's a pleasure. It's not a happiness. It's not a reward. it's a pleasure. And you have to be careful with overloading your pleasure sensors. There's a book called Hacking the American Brain by Robert Ludwig. You can't overload the pleasure sensor. So, it's a time and place for everything.
So when you show us these stories, that's just your, like, because it appears, if I didn't talk to you offline, that your whole life is a turn up. That's what you present.
That's just the part I like. I think what it is I don't think people see me turning up the whole time. They see me making fun of things the whole time, and that equates to turning up the whole time. So people look at it like, oh, he turns up the whole time. No, I just make light of everything. Matter of fact, if you pull up my Costa Rica trip, you can see the zip line and stuff, and I was like, this ain't it. This ain't it. But believe it or not, like I'm not really a club person. I'm more of an activity person. But I think when somebody's always active, it turns into, a turn up person, because, they active,
And you have the most, I don't know what you studied or whatever, but your captions, A1. Like, it's like, I don't like long captions, but I read your like, you keep people captivated. It's amazing. So I had to one day just say, I think it was the beggar children.
I didn't realize I was good at writing until somebody was like, you're good at writing.
This was amazing, Lewis. Thank you so much. You're even more cool on Zoom. And I can't wait to see you within the next 3 weeks.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you, we'll do drinks, all that. And my cat wanted to say bye.
Bye, Atlanta.